I took the old Fairbanks apart this morning to clean it up. I'm going to show you a little bit about what I mean. You see this grimy, dirty, green, corroded stuff on this side over here. I just took a little Windex and washed that off. Pretty decent looking. You can tell a big difference. I also went ahead and cleaned up the neck where it had that little thing on there with the girl face. And I oiled this neck. It was very dry. It's so dry that the fretboard's slightly got little hairline cracks in it, so I oiled it up because the oil is actually good for the wood. And I found a matching serial number on this thing. There's a number right here that matches the number that's in here, which means this is the original neck for that pot. So that's very cool. Somebody asked me about this the other day. There's a bunch of notes written in the back of this thing. I can't quite read them, but somebody took notation on a certain song that we're trying to learn to play. I got a little bit of Windex on the face of this, which means this is loosened up a bit, so I want to be really careful when I retighten this, because if it's a little wet and it dries, it'll tighten up more and it could easily pop. All I'm going to do is clean this all up, put it back together with the nylon strings, and we'll go from there. I have put a good bit of oil all over it. I want the oil to kind of soak into the wood, because wood's kind of really dry, so it won't hurt it to have a little oil in it. It'll be good for it, actually. See if I can get a shot of that face there. I don't know if you can see it on video. It's a very nice, as I look at it more, it looks a lot like a gypsy kind of face, which wouldn't surprise me. There were a lot of sort of gypsy banjo bands back in the day. Okay, I got the Fairbanks all apart. These are the tuning pegs, and I've got them laid out the way they go in the headstock so that I wind up putting them all back in the way they go. This is the tailpiece bolt and the tailpiece and the bridge and the nut and the little thing that goes in the back of the stick to connect it to the pot. I've got all of the nuts and bolts out of it, and I cleaned them all up with carburetor cleaner, actually. I've got a good coat of oil on the neck, and I'm just letting that soak right into it there. And I cleaned this thing up. Trish came up with some of these little green scouring pads to rub around that, and I think it helped quite a lot. In fact, I'm thinking a little bit more rubbing and cleaning would probably help it a little bit more, so I'm going to work on that a little bit more and put it back together. I also cleaned up inside the back of the pot, made that nice and pretty, and then I'm going to put it all back together with those nylon strings on it in a little bit here, and we'll see how that works. Alright, let's take a look at the old Fairbanks after I got her all cleaned up. I don't know if you remember how dirty it was, but considering how dirty it was, that looks pretty nice and shiny right there. I also cleaned the neck up a good bit, and the headstock. Put fresh new nylon strings on it. The strings are just new, so they're probably still stretching. The string height is maybe a hair high. That's fixable, but fixing it involves cutting this stick. This stick goes into a square hole in the back of the pot, and in order to change the angle of the neck, you have to grind off a piece of the stick and add a piece here, which I am loath to do because this is a matching neck with a matching stick and a matching pot. All the serial numbers match, and it hasn't been messed with much. And since it's a pretty good old antique banjo, I think I can live with the string height being right there. It plays just fine, and it plays good up and down the neck that way, so I'm okay with it. Because it does have a skin head and it has these nylon strings, it has a little different sound, but that's kind of what I wanted. I've been playing Mr. Jandro's old Dobson with strings, with nylon strings. I kind of like the old-fashioned sound, so I decided I had to have one set up that way. So let's play a little song. strings are going to be stretching for a while. I'll let these strings stretch for a day or two. Come back, we'll play it some more. But I just thought I'd show it to you. It's nice and clean and pretty and shiny, and I'm happy with it. What more can you ask for? Ooh. I'll do that for a while. Y'all have a nice day.